Hi everyone, it's Brittany. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hello. Like I said, my name is Brittany. I am this close to finishing my last year of dental school. Technically, I've completed all my classes. I'm just waiting for my graduation, which will be in June 11th. And I'm also waiting to take my dental license exam, which will also be in June. So once everything's done, you can call me Dr. Brittany, but right now it's still Brittany, not doctor officially. Anyways, today my video, as you can tell by the title, is I want to tell you all about my experience as a dental student for these past 4 years. So I know I haven't really been on YouTube lately because so much things have happened, and I would love to give you kind of like an update video about how the coronavirus or COVID-19 has affected my last year as a dental student and kind of like all the changes that had to be made, but that will be in a separate video. But if you're interested to hear about the Q&A that you all asked me on Instagram, and then continue to watch this video. So I have my list of questions here, so if I'm like looking down, this is why I wrote them down. The first question is about the adjustment for the transition from undergrad to dental school, and I got a ton of questions about this, maybe like 3. I have an entire video dedicated to the differences between undergrad and dental school, and it's an oldie but a goodie, so if you want to check that out after this video. But essentially, undergrad for me was not a great experience. I felt like the college that I went to was full of these weeder classes, W-E-E-D-E-R, where it felt like these introductory classes were super killer and they kind of wanted to weed students out. And so I didn't have that much of a good time in undergrad. And it was also because I kind of was not doing well in undergrad as well. I didn't really know how to study. I felt really lost. And so once I went to dental school, it was a complete change to me. I felt so much more motivated. I felt this is what I wanted to do. And I also was able to develop these study skills that I had not had in college. So my self-confidence was just boosted up in dental school. My ability to study was also really improved as well. And if you're interested on how I did that, you struggled in college, but here you are, you're gonna be a dentist in a couple weeks. If that is just my story, but if you feel like that kind of resonates with you, like you're kind of struggling in college, you're not really sure, you have a fear of failure, you don't have much guidance, then please email me or DM me. So my email is contact.brittany.watu@gmail.com and DM me on Instagram at Brittany Goes to Dental School, because I have a one-on-one coaching program right now. My coaching program is specifically for pre-dental students who feel like these roadblocks, these fears of failures, this feel of struggles, this lack of guidance is the one that is blocking them and preventing them from confidently applying to dental school. So I'm only taking a very limited number of students, so please DM me or email me to learn more about this one-on-one coaching program. The second question is, what do you do to stop comparing yourself to classmates? So I remember, this kind of ties back to my first year of dental school, but I remember when I first came in, there were so many different people from different walks of life. There were people who went straight out of college like I did. There were people who this was their career change, so they were a little bit older. There were people who had experience as dental assistants. There were people that had experience as dental technicians. And I felt like, at least in the beginning, I was very overwhelmed at when we were picking up these handpieces, waxing teeth. I felt like I was a little bit behind. Some people that had this prior dental knowledge as an assistant or a dental technician, I felt like they were doing everything so fast. They were doing all the lab homeworks really fast. They were acing all of their lab stuff. So I naturally felt like I was behind, but kind of into it, I started to practice a lot more. I started to reach out to these people who I saw were succeeding very well, and I asked them for tips, because I know it might be really hard to ask for help, but there's nothing wrong with asking for help, because if you're stuck in the way that you're doing things, just doing the same things repetitively over and over again, and you aren't getting any improvement, that's when you need to go and self-evaluate and see, what do I need to do wrong? What did I do wrong? And you can also ask for help. So comparing others, it is so natural, but you really have to focus on your own self-improvement. And also remember that it's okay to ask people for help. There's nothing wrong, we're still in school. And even when we're gonna be dentists, there's nothing wrong with asking your colleagues for a second opinion. The third question was, which academic year did you find most difficult? And if you've been following me along for a really long time, or maybe you're a dental student as well, you probably know that, at least in my school, the second year was the most difficult. So the first year, it was really focusing on basic sciences and introductory dental classes. We were so excited to just be in dental school, so first year was quite fun. But second year was when it felt like all of the classes were all new, all dental based, and it just felt like a slap in the face. I remember some of the hardest times I had in dental school was during my second year, because I felt so overwhelmed. And there was a point where we had, like when we first started dental school, we had a quiz every day. And it was so, these quizzes were like so intensive, and I literally had breakdowns like for the first 2 weeks of the dental quarter in my second year of dental school, because I felt like, oh my gosh, like I can't do this, like all these feelings of self-doubt and worry just started to creep on me. But kind of like every day I took it step by step, and I kind of got used to the heavy curriculum. So the second year was by far the most difficult academic year. So the fourth question is kind of related to that a little bit, but it's, how do you balance your studies with clinicals? So the third year is when it's like half didactics, half academics, and half clinical. So how I balanced it was, I actually loved my third year. If any of you wanted to know like my favorite year, it was my third year. Because we were just getting started with clinic. The teachers were more lenient with us because we were just getting started. The classes were okay, like there were a lot of review classes. So how I balanced it was, I kind of was like, if it's clinic time, it's clinic time. And if it's study time, it's study time. Like I wouldn't be thinking about studying during clinic. I wouldn't be thinking about clinic when I was studying. And so creating these boundaries for myself really helped me. And as well, like once you got in clinic, we had to do lab work as well. One boundary that I really promised myself that I would keep is after 5 is like no more school work, like no more lab work. So I would like come in on days where I would come early on some days, I would come in on days where we didn't have class, and I would do lab work there, rather than, I did not want to be one of those people that came into school after 5 p.m. or came at the weekends to do my lab work, because I really, honestly, I did not want to be in school for longer than I had to, and I wanted to really respect that if it's time to be at home, it's time to be at home. If it's time to be at school, it's time to be at school. My fifth question is, can you tell us about your first patient experience? Were you nervous, and did the appointment go well? This is my favorite story to tell dental students that are about to go see patients, but this was the time where I legit scared away my patient. So it was the first day of third year. All my classmates were getting ready to do exams, profis, and my upperclassman, she assigned me a patient that I needed to do a filling on, and I think it was like number 3, like an upper molar, and it was like a class 1. And so it was simple filling. Pretty much I was very nervous to give an injection, so I told my patient, this is something that you should not do. Okay guys, never do this, but this is my first patient. We learn from our mistakes. But I told the patient, you know what, let's try this without anesthetic. You don't need to be numb. I think your cavity is very small, so why don't we just try this without anesthetic? So she agreed, which was already like a big mistake for me. You should always numb up your patient. And I remember I I don't know how it is with your school, but we would prep the teeth without a rubber dam, and then once the tooth was prepped, we would put the rubber dam on and then do the composite filling. So that's the way it was like in our school. But that was for a regular clinic. But for like sim lab or like when we were doing our preclinical stuff, we would always put the rubber dam and do everything on it. So here I was, and if you've ever had a rubber dam on, like it's very annoying, and that clamp that goes around your gums, it's very like, it like hurts, you know? So obviously I was just stupid. I didn't anesthetize the patient, but I like put the clamp on her and then put the rubber dam on, and I was sweating. It was my first time putting a rubber dam on a patient. It took me 30 minutes. The teacher walks over and was like, "What are you doing?" And he told me to take out that rubber dam and to prep the tooth first, and then put the rubber dam on and then do the restoration. I hope that kind of makes sense. So here I was like, patient's like in pain, but she's not really saying anything. And it took me 30 minutes. I was sweating, putting on that rubber dam, and I'm like, oh my God, like I have to take out the rubber dam and start over again. So I was like panicking, and anyways, so everything was better after that. When I went to go make another appointment with my patient, I was like, you know what, we did number 3, we're gonna do number 14, the other side, and then you'll be done with your treatment. So we made an appointment, and she never came back. Looking back at it, I think she didn't come back because obviously like she probably, even though I didn't say it was my first time, she probably like felt the fear coming out of me, felt the fear oozing out of me, and probably could like smell my sweat as I was doing all the things. And plus she was probably like in pain because of me like going at it without any anesthetic. So moral of the story is definitely anesthetize your patients, and yeah, do that. So that's how I scared my first patient away. But if I've got some questions about like patient clinical tips, but trust me, my patients went a lot better after that, and my appointments went a lot better after that. So I would probably love to do a video just talking about patient clinical tips. So the question is, did you have moments where you questioned your decision of going into dentistry? Absolutely. And this I might do another video on too, because I have so much things to talk about, but I don't know if you guys are interested. But there were definitely times when I questioned whether dentistry was for me. And without going too much in depth with it, I was thinking about maybe doing another video on this, but I would get very, very anxious before seeing patients, and it really got amplified during my 4th year. And I kind of talked a little bit about it on my Instagram, one of my Instagram posts, but I would just get very, very anxious, like physically sick, stomach ache, needing to go to the bathroom every time I would have to go see a patient. But the weird thing was that once the patient was in my seat and I was able to do the work, I was really calm. It was just that kind of like anticipation where like, is the patient gonna come? Can the patient pay? Is the patient mean? So kind of like these pre-patient jitters that would just eat me alive every single time. And I would kind of love to do a video more on that in depth, but definitely that was a moment in my dental school career when I was like, is it too late? Like, can I stop right now? Would it be a waste? So yeah, keep you updated on that video. But now everything is better. I definitely needed this break and to kind of like calm down and really see where my priorities were. This is gonna be the last question because I've been talking a lot, but what is the best part about dental school? This question no one really asked, but they said like, what was the best experience? But I had a lot of like good experiences in dental school despite all the things that I just complained about. Probably like many of you, I was very interested in dentistry in high school. And so being this close to the finish line, almost being a dentist, like I honestly cannot believe it. I've been working towards my dream for such a long time. And I know that once I graduate, like my story is just beginning, but I'm so excited for it. Of course, there were kind of like the bad times in dental school, but there were the wonderful times too. I've met so many great teachers, so many mentors. I could not have made it through without my friends. Like we were always all in this together, studying together, ranting together, going to school together, late nights, practicing together. So yeah, not only was it my friends and the support of my teachers that I was able to go through dental school, but also, you know what, you guys, the Plaque Pals, even if it was your first day here or your billionth video that you watched of me, thank you so much for always supporting me in my journey, and for the past 4 years, since 2016 and now it's 2020. And it's so nice to be able to hear lovely messages from you all saying, hey Brittany, I was in college when I first watched your videos, now I'm in dental school. Or hey Brittany, I was in high school and now I'm in college. And just like I made so many new friends here, and it's definitely made it bearable to know that we're not in this dental journey alone. And I just feel so happy, and I don't think that my dental school experience would have been as fun or different or exciting or as memorable if we weren't able to share it here on YouTube. So I'm really excited for the next chapter of my life, and keep watching for more updates. Bye everyone.